Hello, Scorpio. Let's do it, friends. How you doing? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I'm here to do a reading for you. Could be for next week. That's my intention. It's always for the week ahead, but hey, there might be something here that resonates with you right now, and that's okay too. So thanks for stopping in, whether you're brand new, and if you are, I hope you'll stay with a subscription. But if you are a person who keeps coming back, my ride or die, thank you so much for that. Thanks for your thumbs up, by the way. That's the way we're building this tribe. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you all about how to find the extended, and if you would like a private reading, I'll tell you about that as well. I'm going to start out with this deck. It is the Places Oracle, and then we're going to go to Tarot. Let's find out what's going on for you. Let's find out what energies might be in the week for you. Scorpio, my sister sign. Tell me about Scorpio. All right. All right, it's something you're going to be learning something in the future. It says here the interesting though, because it says library and then there's school, right? So that's kind of interesting. Oh, the school, sky school. To me, that is you learning about spiritual things. It's getting downloads. Very interesting. Okay, so library, it says book collection, reading nooks, research, and resources. The frigid realm, it says icy wilderness, Arctic wonders, and polar extremes. You know what this tells me here? That you're going to be learning some things that are going to be harsh. It feels like somebody here is going to come to, like usually in the library, you will find the truth of things, right? Whether that's you look online, you go to an actual library, usually go there looking for proof of something. And so I feel like you're going to get some sort of icy, harsh truth. Polar extremes. It's an extreme truth, but I feel like you go looking for it, understand? I don't feel like it just shows up to interrupt your life, Scorpio. I feel like you go looking for it, and I feel like you're going to find it. It says the flowing waters and riverbank views. I think that once you come to the realization of the frigid realm, of the information being cold and surgical, I think it's a stark reality is what it feels like, that you're in the library, so you're poking around anyway looking for some truth, Scorpio. You're gonna find it, and I think it's a stark reality that is a bit frigid. It's cold, it's very surgical, it's like without emotion, but I think that it is meant for you to see it, so then you can walk through it, walk past it, and carry on down the river. That's what it feels like here. Flowing waters and riverbank views. Flowing waters and riverbank views. I feel like this is something that you needed to figure out or find out in order to be able to carry on at this point in your life. So we have the sky school, right? We have infinite universe, cloud formations, and we have classroom learning, knowledge, and acquisition. So the acquisition of knowledge is coming up here. You know, we've got pinks and purples here, and that is, and yellows here. So I feel like you're going to, you know, the sun is going to come up, is going to brighten the sky. Something is going to be revealed to you. The sun is always about something being revealed to you, and I think that it's coming from the infinite universe. So although I don't feel as though you are expecting that this truth is going to show up as harsh of a reality as you thought it would be, I don't think you thought it would be this harsh. You're going to realize that it was necessary to help you down the crazy river. I'm hearing somewhere down the crazy river. Isn't that a song? Somewhere down the crazy river. Yeah, so if you know what I'm talking about, just heard that, so tell me who sings that. I think it is a song, but I don't know what the song name is. All right. Let's find out what is going on for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, my psychic friends. Let's find out what's going on for you. Scorpio rules my 12th house. 12th house is your psychic house, so you and I are more the same than we are different. I'm a Taurus. You're the opposite, but I attract you like crazy. Let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Eight of Swords, so caught in the mind, in some sort of mental prison here. Why is that? Because you're wanting to build something, organize something. You know what it is? I feel like you're a very practical thinker. You're somebody who builds slowly, but I feel like you're looking for a group of people, a community, a new place to work, a career move. It feels like you want to build, but you don't know where you want to build next. Maybe you're looking for a partnership of some sort, someone to give you help, guidance, somebody that you can watch. do their thing. Just looking here. Kind of looks like I don't know if that's a paddle or a sword. Anyways, okay, sorry. Get back on it here. We've got judgment. Look, this is an opportunity, I feel, that has come to you before, but you weren't ready for it. I feel like this is information that's just been hiding in plain sight, but you didn't see it because you weren't ready for it. You know, we hear about that all the time, right? That there are situations that people end up in that they're like, oh, it was here all the time. I just didn't realize it was here. Maybe it was a person. Maybe it was a person who's a longtime friend, and then you end up dating that person and falling in love. Like it feels like it's something like that, but I'm not saying it is love. I'm saying that the Judgment card is always about something coming back to reveal itself for you, because the Judgment card tells us whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. It, in fact, keeps coming back around until you notice it. And we don't always notice it. Sometimes it takes a download from Sky School, right? Sometimes it takes a download to make us realize that we're being called to do something, to build something. We've got the Four of Pentacles. I feel like you are stuck in your mind. You are on lockdown, friend. The Eight of Swords with the Four of Pentacles is giving me the energy of I'm on lockdown. I'm not telling them what I'm thinking. I have to think it out, get my clarity, figure out what's going on, and before I say anything, I really need to figure out what I'm doing. So it feels like you're not sharing anything. You are being miserly with your time, your energy, your efforts, your money, possibly. It feels like you're up in your head about something. Yeah, because I feel like you're planning to take a leap, like an exhilarating but sort of terrifying leap into this Capricornian energy here of the Three of Pentacles. It feels like you are searching out, I'm going to say, because we have the library here. I feel like you go looking for something. You're searching out ways to take a leap of faith after having built a foundation of something. So it feels like you've already built the foundation of a relationship, built the foundation by getting education and a certificate so you can do a certain job. Or maybe you're a builder, maybe you're building something, like maybe you're a carpenter. It feels like you're laying the plans for something, because Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. Capricorn's a CEO, right? Always very planned about from beginning to end here. You are going to bring something into your reality. And I feel like you are not going to say a word until you figure out what exactly it is that you are figuring out here. When you figure out what it is that you want, you will tell other people, but probably after you take the leap of faith. If I'm being honest, I think that's what it is. There's something here that's exciting that you're keeping under wraps here, Scorpio. Something that's exciting. It feels abundant, or it feels like you are doing it by yourself. It feels like you are in this sovereign energy of I really don't need anyone else's input, but I'm going to get to a place with the Three of Pentacles where I can't move any further if I don't get input, someone that I can collaborate with or cooperate with, somebody who I can watch work, like maybe an apprentice. I can apprentice somebody. It feels like there's an opportunity that's showing up for you that is going to appear in your reality, and you already have the tools for it. You have the resources and the tools for it, and that's why I think it's going to be a little bit easier for you to take this leap of faith. At the center of the reading is the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter is everything that's going on around here, Scorpio, is going to help you take this leap of faith. Look, there's something here that you are going to be building that is for you, but not until you get some reciprocal energy from somebody. So it really does feel like that there is something emotionally abundant here. Look, you're right here, right? You are creating your reality because judgment is coming back and saying, hello, are you ready for me yet? Are you ready for me, boss? Let's do it. All right, let's talk about this Three of Pentacles. What are you building? Because you may have enough knowledge, time, effort, energy, or money to build it to a certain place. The Three of Pentacles is like, to me, the third leg on the stool, right? It now has balance and foundation, and now you want to build it bigger. We've got the Death card here. I feel like you build it so far by yourself, right? Which is the Nine of Pentacles, Empress energy, right? You build it by yourself, but then I feel like you hit a wall. And it feels like the wall that you hit is going to require you to go through some sort of a transformational period in your life, you're going to have to change the way you think, the way you see things, the way you feel about something. It feels like at this point you hit the wall because you're like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that thing. But I feel like you're going to have to change to continue to grow, understand? And I think that's the hard part for you because, like me, you are a fixed sign. We've got the Ace of Cups here. And the Hermit. I think that you really do want it. Whatever it is that I'm talking about here, and whatever I'm talking about depends on the lens you bring here. So if you don't have any discernment about what's going on here, this will not make sense, and you likely shouldn't probably be watching tarot at that point. But I feel like this thing that you have built to a certain place by yourself, I feel like it was through the Hermit energy. So I'm going to say that somebody was getting downloads through the Sky School and going through a dark night of the soul. I feel like you got out of, or are going to be getting out of, the dark night of the soul and realizing that your heart is now open after going through a dark night of the soul. So it feels like if this is something that is emotional for you, because the King of Cups is here, if this is something emotional for you, I feel like you hit a wall, and it feels like now you're looking for maybe a spiritual teacher, or waiting for a download, or trying to find your way out of the Hermit energy. It does feel like this opportunity has come by before, but you've said, no thank you. I'm not ready to build past the 3 Pentacles. I'm not ready. I'm not ready, and I feel like that might have sent you into this Hermit energy. Because when we get to this point where we feel like we can no longer move forward, it's like we start checking in with ourselves. Am I enough? Do I have enough? Am I spiritual enough? We start checking in with ourselves, and that's what causes the dark night of the soul. We start to realize that there are holes poked in the boat, and it's time to plug the holes or everything is going to sink, right? And so this is our effort to stay afloat, I think, with the Ace of Cups here. Tell me about the 4 of Pentacles. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. We've got the King of Swords and the 6 of Pentacles. So I feel like there's something in the mind that's on lockdown. It feels like you're holding back from taking the leap of faith until you get more information, which makes sense because you're very strategic. You want to make something a reality, but you're going to have to answer the call of judgment before you're going to be able to move forward here. So I feel like the 2 of Pentacles is the decision-making process, but I feel like you want to make sure that everything is on point intellectually before you make your decision or take your leap of faith. So I feel like the King of Swords is the energy of going over all the documents, going over all the spreadsheets, making sure I have enough money in the bank. It's all of the details, looking at everything in the frigid realm, right? Yeah. Looking at everything, I feel like you are in the frigid realm while you're being very cold and surgically honest with yourself about the reasons why you are holding back, and you won't take the Death card. I feel like you're going to have to transform or change the way you think or feel about something before you're going to be able to move forward and come out of the dark night of the soul. So I feel like you want to make sure that everything is on point, right, before you make the decision. And I feel like you also want to check in with somebody, maybe get some information from someone who's gone through dark night of the soul, gone through all of this, before you decide that you're going to make a decision and no longer hold back. Because you know what it is? I feel like the decision you have to make is going to make you feel vulnerable. Now, this is you, right? You're the King of Cups. You keep it all under the surface. I'm not really going to show you what's going on the surface. And so it does feel like somebody here is not willing to be vulnerable. And it takes vulnerability to be the fool. And so I think that that's where the Death card, that's where you hit the wall, because I feel like in order to be able to take the leap of faith and create your reality, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And I think that's the hard part. That's what you're going to have to realize here, that you do have all the tools and the resources. You have the ability to create your reality. But the truth be told, the downloads that are coming in, the cold truth is that you're going to have to learn something. And that something is going to make you have to be more vulnerable before you can, you have to practice vulnerability before you can move forward here to whatever it is that you want. Look, we have the We have the Strength card here, which is interesting in the Devil. Now, you want to create your own reality, and you have all the tools and the resources to do that. All the aces are up your sleeve, but I feel like you're still holding back because you're trying to find the courage to move forward. But I think here the Devil tells me that as you're holding back, because you're holding back, you get the doubt and the fear and, oh gosh, what if this doesn't work? What if I'm still not this person I think that I am after I came out of the dark night of the soul energy? It feels like there is an attachment of doubt or fear of something going wrong, something that's not going to work for you. It's that the plan is not going to work. So I feel like there is something here that you need to reconcile with yourself, and I think it's this. I feel like you're a person who likes to keep everything under the surface emotionally, and the Death card is beckoning you, is begging with you to notice the Judgment card, because this opportunity is coming back around, but the only reason that you haven't mastered this opportunity or taken the opportunity is because you are going to have to be vulnerable, and you're not good with emotional vulnerability. Not all of you are. Some of you are, but not all of you are. Tell me about the Empress, because I feel like it's the Queen of Cups you have to learn here. And I feel like the Empress is asking you to please learn. Yeah, so you can move forward. I love this, right? So I feel like your illusion or delusion, we've got the Knight of Cups here. This is, Neptunian energy. It's Piscean energy. It's dreamy energy. I'm dreaming of all the things that I want, dreaming about how wonderful it's going to be when I move forward. But Libra shows up and sort of puts a kibosh on everything and says, look, you have to figure out what's real. You have to bring everything back down to earth. You have to want to do the right thing more than you fear being emotionally vulnerable. So I feel like somebody here, this is here what is waiting for you. I feel like, the Empress is very well-rounded, having all of the wisdom of all the queens, and one of the queens is Cancer, and Cancer is very vulnerable. So when they get very comfortable with you, they're quite vulnerable. We've also got Piscean energy here, so Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer energy here. I feel like Justice is saying, look, you've got to restore things and do the right thing by you. But it feels like here with the Nine of Wands in the reverse, that this energy is one of, I feel like you get to this place where you just can no longer hold off the Death card. It's burnout. It's emotional burnout. And so I feel like you're scared of being vulnerable enough to make a decision to take this leap of faith, which we're going to talk about in the extended, because this seems exhilarating but terrifying. And I think that you are holding back because you feel like you're stuck in the midst of the plan, because the Two of Wands is where you're stuck. And when the third wand shows up, that is where the propeller on the boat shows up, right? That's where you get power and fire behind your plan, and you start taking action. I'm going to go into the extended. We're going to talk way more about this. We're going to talk about the Fool. What's the leap of faith? Why are you stuck in your head? And how can we help you be vulnerable? Maybe there's some advice waiting for you. I think it's here is where you're going to get all of the information that you need. Is the download you're going to get. Maybe going to the forest, staying in a cabin. Maybe you just need to be close to nature. If you want to come into the extended, then please look above the pinned comments, or above the comments. There is a pinned comment, and in that pinned comment you will find a link to the membership area. That's where all the extendeds go. You will also find a link to Hypsee, where you can book a private reading either live with me or pre-recorded. So the pre-recorded readings begin at $25 and go up from there. And the readings that are live can be done through vocal. We can just talk over the phone. It can be done face-to-face, or we can do it through chat. And I've done all of those, and it's a lot of fun, actually. And if you want to do that, you will get between 5 and 75% off when you book ahead. You can only get me live if you book ahead. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here. I'll go to the extended. If I see you there, that's cool. But if I don't, that's cool too. No problem. I will see you then. I will be back because I'm always back. Take care, Scorps. Bye-bye.